the city of the sun. You could have stayed, it's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass. Time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shape my smile.
Today is July 10th, 2025. It is 3:04 a.m. I find myself spending about an hour looking for a tweet to share with you, and instead I kept on adding more tweets. Since yesterday, I had a long list of tweets to share with you, but the parts that I wanted to share with you was a part where there's a lady who was defending Meghan, and then that was last week. And then after she defended her, I will say the squad were propping her up, were happy that somebody in the UK was actually speaking the truth. And then few days later, it looks like, I don't know, backtrack. She completely opposite of what she was saying. So I was looking for the tweets that where her narrative changed to add to the list, but instead I find myself adding all sort of other things. So I was like, you know what, I better start recording. If I come across it another day, I'll put it in one of those videos, but instead I find myself putting tweets about 4th of July and things like that. So part of this video might be on PYTE and some might be on Team Sussex. So I'm gonna do one recording and then divide it. Okay, so let's get started. This is part 2 of yesterday's recording. I just uploaded it and made it public. I haven't done the thumbnails for it yet, so that this is part 2 that you're seeing on the screen. All right, so let's go on Twitter. Oh, okay, I think I have this on the list, but since it's on the screen, let me just get rid of it right now. I mentioned it on my last recording. about William, who has no concept of ladies first type of thing. You see, he's under a carriage first, and there's, I believe this is Kate, and there are other women who are trying to get on the carriage. Instead of him leading, you know, standing outside to let ladies first, but nope, he got himself in. I don't know. Let me just read this and show you the video. This guy, oh my goodness. Okay, so I added on the list. Harry will have never gotten his ass in that carriage before Meghan, and then sit there like a damn fool and not even offer her a hand to help her come up. That boy child has no respect for her. Let's see what excuse the tabloid will give him. Alright, 22 seconds. I think it's in slow motion. I'm just gonna go through it like this so I don't have to make screenshot. Alright, his ass is sitting down, but instead, and I think there were other women. You see the guy behind it. I don't know if they are a couple. Those two people, they got on the carriage first. There's the guy behind this lady. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't even want to go in the comment. Alright, so it's just almost the same sentiment. Let's focus on what I really wanted to share with you. If you want me to come back and read some of the comments, let me know, okay? So let's focus on 4th of July kind of tweet. Alright, so Meghan posted that on her IG on 4th of July. Yes, Meghan Sussex has posted the 4th of July cocktail recipe, the dress, the garden, and celebrating with friends a perfect Independence Day. Alright, I don't know if there's a music. 43 seconds. Okay, so there's a music. Let me go through it really quickly. Just go on IG and watch it because YouTube will give me issues, okay? Alright, so that's that. Oh, there's no comment. Very interesting. Alright, so let's go to the next tweet. I just add these to the list. That's why I'm going through it really quickly. Alright, so there's this. Our very American Montecito home. She's making reference to that tweet video that I just went through really quickly of Meghan's video. Okay, let's listen to her screenshot. 1 minute and 49 seconds.
Did you see Duchess Meghan's 4th of July post? Duchess Meghan said, "Happy 4th of July from this very American Montecito home." Y'all, Duchess Meghan said, "This is an American household, okay?" She said, "We celebrate the 4th of July here." Okay? I'm married to him, but we're American. We're here, okay? It's an American home. Okay? And we'll be celebrating. Get this red, white, and blue cheese tray, okay? Duchess Meghan said, "Your little articles about how badly Harry, I want to get back to the UK. No, we're very busy. The products are flying off the shelves. The wine, the cookie mix, the jams, the honeys. We're very popular right now. Very popular over here. People love what we make. We're gonna do that. We're here in America. Look for it. Country has given us so much. It just brought my husband so much peace. That's how we're doing it. Happy 4th of July, Miss Sussexes. Oh my God, we love to see it. I love it. It is so weird being an awake Black woman in America on a wildly problematic holiday.
Yeah, problematic holiday.
Today, but this is exactly the kind of slow, soft life Black girl content I like to see. But thank you, just Meghan. Maybe one of these days I'll be able to buy some of these products. One day.
Alright, Independence Day. That's an ad. And this is extra. Let's go to the next. Oh, let's pause. Next tweet. The others below it were extra. So I want to focus on what I have on the list. Next tweet. Alright, so this was also posted on 4th of July. Royalists seem more desperate than usual to prove that it's okay to sacrifice Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex to show that the monarchy is necessary. That this exorbitant expense to taxpayers, that this relic of the past, which has become clownish, is needed. They are angry. Why? I was looking at a video of Camilla going into, I think Wimbledon is being played right now in the UK. And those women, I guess they call them women in waiting or lady in waiting, who were walking behind Camilla and touched this guy's back for him to stand up. Let me see if I could find it. And then I'll get back to this. Because I was trying. So there's me retweeting it. This is what I said. That would have been the last time I sit in that royal box, the F. All right. So let me go into it so it could be bigger. All right. Look at her. My God. Princess Diana. I muted. Okay. That's in the back right here. Telling the guy to stand up for this the horse. On your feet, peasant. I'm like, that would have been the last time I'm there. Okay, so let's leave that alone. Back to this. Why did I bring it? Royalist. Anyway, let's listen to him. I'm a little bit disoriented right now because what I was really looking for, I didn't find it.
Royalists are a dying breed, and I mean that in the most literal, celebratory, and disrespectful way possible. We are watching the slow motion extinction of the most embarrassing fan base on earth. The same people who think queuing is a personality and waving from a balcony is a form of leadership. These are your monarchists. Geriatrics with god complexes and commemorative spoons. They don't have facts, they have fairy tales. They don't have relevance, they have reruns. And every time one of them croaks out, God save the king, the universe asks, why? You'll find them on Facebook, Twitter, a few on Instagram, and a smattering on TikTok, typing in all caps, crying about tradition, while ignoring the centuries of colonization that funded those castles they love to romanticize about. They treat the monarchy like it's a religion. Their current queen, a side piece, their current king, an adulterer, and their future king, a PR disaster in waiting. And now, they're outnumbered, outdated, and out of time because Gen Z.
And this is why what's going on around the world is happening, because they know their narrative, the way that they want things to go or to be, it's not happening. So they're creating chaos. The more chaos there is, the more they stay in power. All right. So this is, if you look on my last video, this one in particular, I didn't do the thumbnails yet. Hopefully by the time I'm editing this, I do the thumbnails so I could show you. It's season 5 episode 167. All right. That video where I said the prayer that I was looking at the end, I was searching for was for the foot soldiers, because it's those people who work for them that's allowing or carrying out the task to the peasants, to the people, to submit to the brutality of those on top. So when I was looking for the prayer, I was looking prayer for foot soldiers, for them to have a sense of enlightenment, to say what they do and the act, the violence that they're carrying out, it's not good. All right, so let me move this back slightly. Let's listen.
A PR disaster in waiting. And now they're outnumbered, outdated, and out of time. Because Gen Z isn't bowing. Millennials aren't kneeling. The Commonwealth is packing its bags. The curtain is falling, and the applause is not for them. So let them whine. Let them scream into the void about respect for the crown. Because nothing is funnier than watching a bunch of pearl-clutching boomers realizing the world is moving on. And it's not taking their teacups, their tabloid propaganda, and their tiara fantasies with it. The monarchy's biggest supporters are literally aging out. And when they go, so does the lie. So here's to the royalists. May your bunting fade, may your nostalgia rot, and may your little fantasies of empire die right alongside your Facebook groups. We won't miss you. We'll be too busy writing the future with Meghan and Harry.
All right. So I guess this is why I had to share this video with you, where they're telling the guy to stand up for that horse. Oh my goodness. Okay, victimhood will never go out of style for you, will it? Alright. Oh, only one comment.
Royalists are dying.
One comment. The royalists don't like him because he's saying the truth, calling them out on the BS. And sometimes there are people who well-minded, who's not really paying attention to all of the things that's going on. But when content like this, come under your timeline and you listen to it, it makes you think. And you look back at them and said, wait a second, why this? Why that? Okay? Next tweet. So this is Baby D. How dare she, shady without even trying. His Majesty the King must remove all title. Why? I love how shady my girl can be without even trying. There was one tweet, a squaddy, who posted something similar to this. My response to it was that she's shading without even shading. The outfit, I think around that time, Kate wore something similar to this to an event. I forgot which event. I don't really follow them that much, but I was seeing the squad be tweeting images of Kate with a shirt similar to this. Not the same color. I think it was a little bit beige or something like that. But anyway, happy 4th of July. There's that. There's the squad here. This is an ad. You again, cry harder. There's that. Happy 4th. There's all of this. It's okay, baby. Meghan is living her joyful life without a thought to Salty Island. No shade, just 4th of July. Alright, let's go to the next one. Another TikTok video. That's July 5th. Alright, so what's this? Oh, this one is slightly longer. Okay. Lindsay really filmed herself in a trailer clutching a pillow and diagnosing Markle, Meghan Sussex, using a YouTube narcissism bro with no license. Alright, so let's listen to this. This one is pretty long.
An expert has analyzed Meghan Markle's words and behaviors, and guess what? They agree with us. They also claim she is highly narcissistic.
Okay, and one of the videos that I did yesterday, it was one recording, but I divided into two. I don't know if it's part 1 and part 2. He made a reference to that same person that this person here is making reference to. He sort of highlight the guy that body expert on YouTube, his credential, his education, and some of certificate that he got. So listen to one of the videos that I did yesterday. Again, I haven't done the thumbnails for this yet. It's either this video or the one below it, part 1. Okay, they have the same title but different number, part 1 and part 2. All right, so back to this.
I stumbled upon an interview with Richard Granite, a psychologist and expert on narcissism.
Lindsay, you intellectually bankrupt, bargain basement Bethany Frankel wannabe, emotional scavenger. You clout-thirsty trauma cosplayer with a podcast no one listens to, and a face that screams influencer clearance rack. You got on camera in what looks like a glorified storage closet or trailer, clutching a pillow like it was your last ounce of dignity. Tried psychoanalyzing Meghan, using quotes from a narcissistic YouTube bro who reads DSM criteria like it's tarot. You're the last person on earth qualified to analyze anyone's mental health. You think narcissist is a buzzword you can just throw around when a woman doesn't bow her head and beg for approval. Meghan says her family loves her, and you twist it into a clinical disorder because the idea of a woman being loved, admired, and adored burns you from inside out. You don't sound like an expert. You sound like someone who's been left unread by every therapist you've ever emailed. Let's not pretend this is about Meghan. This is about you and your festering, unrelenting obsession with tearing down a woman who embodies everything you'll never be. Meghan is beautiful, accomplished, adored, and transcendent. You post low-resolution gossip videos in a makeshift RV studio because the algorithm doesn't reward your mediocrity unless you put Meghan's name in your mouth like a lifeline. You called her highly narcissistic because she doesn't grovel for approval from people like you. Meanwhile, you're sitting in a mobile home goods catalog, screaming into a lens like your opinions are gospel, when they're just recycled Twitter takes, filtered through jealousy and a basic Canva template. You talk about contradictions. You can't even keep your story straight. One day you're just analyzing. The next, you're dragging a woman you'll never meet like she stole your spot on a reality show 10 years ago. She's living in a Montecito estate. You're talking shit from a futon under flickering LED lights. Let's not forget your expert Richard Grannon, an unlicensed, self-aggrandizing trauma grifter who's as credible as a Reddit moderator with daddy issues.
Okay, so it's a different person. The person that I thought this was making reference to was a Spanish name. So that's not the same person. Okay, so forget that. Let's continue.
You cited him like he's a Harvard researcher, when he's basically Andrew Tate for people who listen to true crime on double speed. A man with the psychological credibility of a TikTok tarot reader. As your expert witness, you might as well have quoted a barista or a spirit board. Gannon is the same man who's admitted to having narcissistic traits himself, and who's been rightfully dragged by survivors for being manipulative, volatile, and ironically, narcissistic himself across multiple trauma recovery forums for turning his coaching into a conspiracy-tinged performance. He rants about energy vampires and plays therapist with all the sensitivity of a sledgehammer. And you're treating him like gospel, and you, the woman with less formal training than a licensed esthetician, decided this was your moment to drag a duchess through the mud. You don't have the range. You don't have the credentials. You barely have a working light. Here's your diagnosis, Lindsay. Terminal jealousy, chronic projection, and a rage addiction to Meghan's name. And the prognosis? Incurable. Because no matter how many episodes you post, no matter how many times you say highly narcissistic, in that over-rehearsed podcast cadence, Meghan will still be thriving. And you'll still be seething, bitter, and irrelevant. You're not the hero of this takedown. You're the case study.
Oh my lord. Like one squaddy said, I don't want to cross paths with this guy because he called them out. Okay, what is wrong with this dry, redundant, unloved, bleach out, and emotionally damaged troll named Lindsay? Like, go see about your careless life and mental health issue, you nutcase. That's an ad. Okay, so this is a writer who one of the tabloid in the UK was trying to bribe her to write negative content about Meghan. Expert on Meghan, huh? There's that. For the sake of this video, let me play it. 57 seconds.
About how the media inflames this. I was called by the Sun newspaper. If you don't know what the Sun is, it's sort of
got the topless girl on page 3. That's all you need
and
to
they
know.
called me about a month ago to ask if I'd write about how Meghan was like Wallace and how Meghan was going to destroy the royal family and the arguments between Meghan and Kate. And I said, I'm really sorry, I'm just not privy to all of this. I don't think I can do it. And the commissioning editor was really twisting my arm to write this article and say, but you could say, couldn't you, that X happened, and you could say that she's fired all her staff, and you could say that Kate has said this. I said, well, I'm really sorry, I don't know that, I can't do it. And this conversation went on for about half an hour, and I didn't write the article, but it just gives you an insight into how this whole thing is being, you know, the flames are being fanned by the media.
Okay.
I've heard the phrase cottage industry. This is a palace industry. Yes.
Okay, sound like she is a trailer park wife. Is this real? If it is, thank you for exposing all these losers. It's so shameful. Even school didn't help. There's the clap here. Take down. She tagged somebody. This is one of your top 10 take down. Beautiful, love it. You are doing the Lord's work. May God continue to bless, protect you, and keep you. There's the loving eye. Alright, so there's more comment. Let's move on. Alright, another TikTok video. Oh, that's him again. Alright, let's see here. When did he post it? July 5th. Okay, posting online as yourself take guts. Speaking your truth takes steel. Trolling anonymously. That's cowardice. I don't care what anyone thinks of me. I know my worth. And Meghan, she survived. Okay, she survived more than most ever could. That's why I write for her always. All right, so this one is slightly longer, 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So let's listen.
Let's talk about something that doesn't get enough credit. The raw courage to show up online and speak your truth, to post your face, to voice your opinion, to open your mouth and say anything with conviction, knowing the second you do, the trolls will crawl out of their little holes. Because once you speak, here come the anonymous accounts. No face, no name, just a cartoon avatar and a superiority complex. They don't create, they criticize. They don't build, they tear down.
That's true.
They exist purely to drag other people down into the pit of bitterness they're drowning in. But here's what they'll never admit. Posting as yourself online is an act of courage because it means being seen, being judged, being attacked. It means enduring snide comments, low blows, dog whistles, character assassinations from strangers who don't even have the guts to use their real names. And let's be honest, I get a fraction of the hate Meghan gets, but thank God I'm mentally unshakable and self-actualized enough to know who I am. You can't destabilize someone who's done the inner work. You can't rattle someone who's rooted. And no anonymous gremlin with a fake profile pic is ever going to make me question my worth. I can't imagine the level of strength to walk through what Meghan's walked through. To be in that royal cage, surrounded by snakes in pearls, and still choose to stand tall, speak truth, and protect your peace. She must be made of steel. Which is why I will always champion Meghan and Harry. Because this isn't just about royalty. It's about resilience. It's about refusing to let the bullies win. And make no mistake, royalists are bullies. They hide behind tradition, but what they really protect is a system built on cruelty, silence, and control. I loathe bullies. I don't care if they're in a palace or behind a profile pic. If your whole personality is tearing people down for existing, you are not noble. You are not clever. You are spineless. So here's the truth. Courage is being visible in a world that profits off your silence. Courage is speaking when the world tells you to shut up. And courage looks like Harry and Meghan.
That is true. There was something he
Let's talk about...
let me pause it. Somewhere maybe around here where he was saying something about where they spend time destroying and let me see if I could find it. Is that here?
They criticize. They don't build. They tear down.
Exactly that. Okay, so let's start it all over again here. From here.
They don't create. They criticize. They don't build. They tear down. They exist purely to drag other people down into the pit of bitterness they're drowning in.
Okay, this part here that you just hear, where they criticize, they don't build and all of that, but yet they want to take credit for anything that is positive. Okay, if you're spending so much time of criticizing people and then destroying things, where do you have time to build? You understand what I mean? So when these people, you know, the racists, where they want to take credit for everything, but they take so much time on destroying and putting people down, they don't have time to create. So I don't know if I even explained it properly, but when he said that, that's what crossed my mind. One more time.
They don't create, they criticize. They don't
create, they criticize. They spend so much time criticizing. Meanwhile, they don't even have time to build, to create. And this is why the others mumble and along with Egg don't have time to create anything meaningful. They point out, yes, you have that earth shit, but what is it doing? But instead, majority of their time is focusing on destroying what Harry and Meghan are doing. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan took their time to create. You don't see them coming online and criticizing people left and right, or, you know, the way the royal do, hide behind the media. All right?
Build, they tear down. They exist purely to drag other people down into the pit of bitterness they're drowning in.
He's 100% here. All right, so let's read some of the comments here. Thank you for your vital and important voice. The snakes and the snakes and pearls. That got me a little giggle. The snakes and pearls and their trolls are all insecure cowards. They are spineless derangers indeed, and clearly a menace to society. They are parasitic lunatics with no purpose. Just to criticize, that's all. Oh dear, snakes and pearls, you are doing the Lord's work. God bless you, 100%. There's the clap here. Me too, 100%. They ran apps on her and almost succeeded. Prince Harry recognized what was happening and got them out of there. That part. Some of you will get tired of me pointing this out. Yes, they are out, but it was William who kicked them out. Okay? Harry and Meghan were willing to stay to work with them.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there?
without question.
Yeah.
I'm sad that what's happened has happened, but I know, and I'm comfortable knowing that we did everything that we could to make it work, and we did everything on the exit process the way that it should have been
with
done.
as much respect.
With as much
and
respect.
Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
But William hired, is it Simon Case, to put it in writing for them and get them out. Okay, that was in court document. Okay, his army training kicked in. Yes, the military knows how, and I've seen it done. And then not only after they kicked them out, and they made an agreement with him, give him 1 year review, and then they broke that promise. All right, you've seen it done, have you, Wanda? More than Harry has done. I don't know. It shows 7, but I guess these are people I blocked, so I cannot see them. Okay, and I might add the snakes and the Blackmore brooch. Okay, that lady, I know who she's making, this tweet is making reference to. And I might add the snake and the Blackmore brooch. Okay, there's the clap here. JTB, WanK Carriage, thank you for all you do, standing up so visibly for Meghan. She survived more than most ever could. That's why I write for her always. Bravo. That's why the tampon named her, was it Tungsten? Because he knows what he did to her, because he did it to Diana. All right, so let's go to the next tweet. That's another TikTok video. Him again. He been putting a lot of tweets out. Bryce Gobert tried to analyze Meghan Markle with a summarish screenshot and ended up exposing her own bias, mediocrity, and desperation. This isn't commentary. It's a colonizer cosplay with a ring light. With a ring light. Oh, this one is longer. 4 minutes and 25 seconds.
Remember how I said I work in media? I can bring receipts. Let's go. Okay, first one, I'm going to move out of the way. Meghan Markle business, the global search volume for the entire planet is 440 searches for the last month. In the US, the main market for Netflix, 110.
So Bryce Group.
Before we listen to him, one thing we must keep in mind, okay? We know how biased many of those media things are. Okay, they don't let these things run naturally. They have to interfere. But what one cannot, okay, undermine is the fact that when she's having a sale, everything sold out in minutes, not hours, in minutes. So that should tell you something. Okay? But anyway, let's continue. Not only that, when you look at the media, those groups, what's not Trump, what's the guy with Fox News, the owner, what's his name, Rupert Murdoch, and all his buddies, they capture all form of communication, music, you name it, all sort of industries. They have hands in all of them. Like this guy, what's his name, that punk musician that spoke against Palestine. Okay, his music label dropped him. Why? Because these are the same group who's in control of almost everything. I don't know who owns the label that this guy signed up with, but they're all the same. They stick together because they want to maintain and control the narrative. But what is happening here with social media, people are talking. I mean, Harry gave us a heads up about the media when he was leaving the UK to go meet Meghan in Canada, where he said this is much bigger than just him.
Family back from all I have ever known, to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life. I was born into this life, and it is a great honor to serve my country and the Queen. When I lost my mum 23 years ago, you took me under your wing. You looked out for me for so long, but the media is a powerful force. And my hope is one day our collective support for each other can be more powerful, because this is so much bigger than just us.
He know what he was talking about. it was much bigger than just him. So this is why he didn't go directly and name names and say all of this, but instead the ones that are personally attacking him, abusing him on their papers, he deal with them. But like he said, it's much bigger than just him. This is the effect of what he mentioned here we are experiencing. So people need to pay attention. These groups are in control of almost everything. And they old, and like he said in one of his TikTok, they're dying out. So we need to do the pushback. But anyway, let's move it back slightly. Let's listen to him.
Planet is 440 searches for the last month. In the US, the main market for Netflix, 110.
So Bryce Gruber, suburban Chardonnay in human form, got on TikTok, slapped on some concealer, curled her ego,
Oh my
and
God.
thought she did something with a SEMrush screenshot. She pulled up 3 keywords: Meghan Markle business. Saw it had 440 searches a month and said, "See, no one's interested." That wasn't a mic drop. That was a malfunction in bronzer and brain cells. Because Bryce,
Malfunction.
that wasn't data. It was digital diarrhea disguised as
Oh my
insight.
God.
Those 3 keywords is like Googling Queen Elizabeth dog shampoo and declaring the monarchy is irrelevant. It's lazy. It's dishonest. And worst of all, it's calculated. What's next? Googling Princess Diana entrepreneur and declaring she never mattered? Let's be real. You cherry-picked one irrelevant phrase, skipped over the 673,000 global monthly searches Meghan pulls on her name alone, and called it proof. You didn't break...
And not only that, Netflix. Do you think if Netflix then see a return with the contract they have with Harry and Meghan, do you think they will still be there? Okay, that's because they see the money is coming in and people are watching and things like that. Okay, Netflix alone, they have their own, how do you call this, analysis or their, whatever they look for the numbers. They know what they're talking about. Do you think if people were not watching the Harry and Meghan's content and things like that, you think they will still be with Netflix? Let's continue.
Break news. You embarrassed yourself in 1080p. You want metrics? Here's a few. Meghan's Instagram Reels have pulled over 260 million views in 2025. More than William and Kate combined. Her podcast, #1 in 6 countries. Her Netflix docuseries, record-breaking.
That's
her
right.
Her lifestyle show, streaming in 47 nations. That's not just relevance. It's an empire. But here's the real question. Why is it always the same crew making these videos? Why is it always the plain yogurt pundits, the casserole crusaders,
Oh my
the
God.
sunscreen supremacists, and the folks from the land of no spice, lining up to dissect a black woman's every move like it's a group project for Racism
Sunscreen.
101? And before you say it's not about race, let's be honest. You will never find a black or brown creator posting a takedown video of Meghan. Because we don't spend our screen time punching down. We don't obsess over a woman who's already been dragged through the press, stalked by paparazzi, and vilified in every language. This is the unconscious bias Prince Harry warned us about. The deep, festering discomfort when a black woman refuses to shrink. At best, it's microaggression. At worst, it's full-on racism in a Sephora rewards tier. This isn't commentary. This is a hobby for the gentrification nation, the colonizer cosplay crew, the I want to speak to your manager delegation, and the White Walkers of TikTok, who wrap their disdain in fake analytics and call it objectivity. And Bryce, you're not just part of it, you're its final boss. You call yourself a commerce expert, yet you couldn't even monetize your hate correctly. Meanwhile, Meghan dropped a rosé and sold out
That's
in
right.
under an hour twice.
Yep.
She gets paid for her relevance. You get views off petty. That's not influence. That's content creator cosplay. Let's talk about the real optics. You looked into your camera, overexposed, underblended, and overestimated your own IQ, and tried to dismantle a duchess with a bar graph and a prayer. You didn't look like an analyst. You look like a saltine socialite
Oh my
spiraling at
God.
2 a.m.
Oh,
Trying
shit.
to brand your envy as analysis isn't clever. It's pathetic. You weren't reporting. You were doing emotional projection in a filter set to desperation. This was never about Meghan's business. It was about your discomfort. It was about control. It was about a black woman existing freely, joyfully, successfully, and needing to drag her down to your level. But here's the catch. You'll never be on her level. She's not even on your screen. You had to summon her name just to get attention. So let's be clear. You're not the voice. You're not the expert. You're not even background noise. You're a footnote to a footnote in a woman's story you'll never be part of. And the next time you want to go viral at Meghan's expense, just remember, she's the headline. You're just the haunted spreadsheet. And no one is searching for you.
Oh my lord, he's taking them down. Alright, so let's read some of the comments here. Jesus, you cooked her. I mean, you have to follow all of these people to know. I don't even know who that woman is. Then again, I'm not on TikTok, so I would not know. There's the laugh here. Love the part about the haunted spreadsheet. I love your dissection of these folks. Digital diarrhea disguised as insight. Embarrass yourself in 1080p. I know that he has a lot of little punch here and there. Whatever's on the screen, that's it. Oh man, she got dragged so bad. I had to check my own legs for abrasions. I had to check my own hair for bald patches. Princess Meghan is the golden light and human form brought to earth with a higher purpose. No weapon that form against her can prosper. Drag her and dissect her. This is supreme content. Hats off. White women are obsessed with Duchess Meghan. Who Bryce men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Exactly. This is why I was bringing those her things sell out in minutes, not even hours, minutes. Okay, I just love your work. Wow, just love hearing you put these nasty peeps in their place. All right, let's go to the next tweet. I did rearrange some stuff here. The thing that I wanted to focus on was a video of a woman who was praising Meghan, but I couldn't find something where she backpedaled her thing. Alright, next tweet. I love how shady my girl can be without even trying. Happy 4th. Alright, so that's one of her posts. Comment. Let's post here. Her shirt by shirting. Meghan said enough is enough. Stop the copying bull. Okay, she said no copycats in here, all original. And the other thing as well, like I think I mentioned at the beginning of this recording, the one on Salty Island wore a shirt similar to this, but in beige. The reason I'm aware of it is because some of the squads were talking about it, but I don't have it on my list. Not sure she's even thinking about Kitty, to be honest. Nobody thinks about her, to be honest. Not even her racist friends or husband. OMG, Meghan is killing her haters. That's beyond shady. I'm loving this. She shaded Kitty and gave us a poetic nod, all in one fell swoop. We stand a dynamic duchess. Okay, and she looks good in this shirt. Meghan is a shady duchess. Yeah, like I said with Mariah Carey is another one too. She will talk to you very calmly with a smile, but she's spitting shades left and right. If you don't catch it, you won't know that she was dragging you. Mariah Carey. Okay, just watch sometimes when she's doing interviews. Mariah Carey is like a big kid in a woman body. Alright, but she's business savvy though. She owns all of her masters. And she writes a lot of her thing. Let's look that up now that I mention it. Sidetracked. Hold on for a second. Okay, so this is what I type on Google. Does Mariah Carey own her masters? Yes, Mariah Carey owns the masters recordings of her entire discography. Wow. All of them. Wow. This includes all her studio albums, soundtracks albums, compilation albums, extended plays, and remix album. She made this announcement while discussing an upcoming TV series based on her life, highlighting that owning her masters is rare even for established musicians. Yeah, it is. Okay, this is a business savvy person here. So she doesn't have to make new music. She's pretty much set. I think every Christmas holiday, what's her music, Coming Home for Christmas or something, she has a album for Christmas. I think every Christmas she makes money off of that album. Okay, her kids are set. But anyway, back to this. Let's go back to Twitter. That was a side note, okay? Next tweet. Meghan Sussex throwing some shade to the UK media with her 4th of July post today. Possibly, at least in part, it's obvious since she has come back to social media, she has hit the where it hurts. This Independence Day was her declaration of freedom from their nonsense. Alright, let's listen to this. 1 minute and 49 seconds. I'm not sure if it's the same one that I post of her, but let's see.
Did you see Duchess Meghan's 4th of July post?
I think it's the same one.
Meghan said, "Happy 4th of July from this very American Montecito home." Y'all, Duchess Meghan said, "This is an American household, okay?" She said, "We celebrate the 4th of July here." Okay? I'm married to an American. We're here, okay? It's an American home. Okay? And we'll be celebrating. Get this red, white, and blue cheese tray, okay? Duchess Meghan said, "Your little articles about how badly Harry, I want to get back to the UK. No, we're very busy. The products are flying off the shelves.
That's right.
The wine, the cookie mix, the jams, the honeys. Yeah, we're very popular right now. Very popular over here. People love what we make. We're going to do that. We're here in America. Good for it. A country that has given us so much. That has brought my husband so much peace. That's how we're doing it. Happy 4th of July from the Sussexes. Oh my God, we love to see it. I love it. It is so weird being an awake Black woman in America on a wildly problematic holiday like today, but this is exactly the kind of slow, soft life Black girl content I like to see. But thank you, just Meghan. Maybe one of these days I'll be able to buy some of these products. One day.
I think I put this twice. Maybe people retweeted it. I must have missed from our Montecito home. That's an ad. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. Okay, I agree. Meghan lived experience will inspire fairy tales one day. Watching a Black woman build something soft, elegant, and successful after being dragged for existing is a win worth cheering. I have a video on PYTE. I think this is where I'm going to put this video, PYTE, because I haven't posted anything there. So, I think early 2020 or 2021, I was camping and this thing came to me, and early in the morning, where I said, at that time, that was before I was aware of all of these things that's going on. But the small portion that I was seeing on the media, her being dragged for no reason, I did brought it up. And I was like, she will be like inspired to young girls to still standing up and push forward. Go watch it. That's not the way I said it in the video, but pretty much I was camping in a tent. I wasn't renting any cabin or anything like that. In a tent, and then I normally get up early. So that thought came to me. It was probably 6 a.m. in the morning, and got out of the tent and used my phone to record it. And then once I came back home, I used the recording to make a video out of it. Okay, are you aware she's half white? Okay, so what's that have to do with anything? No one is perfect. Okay, there's that. I love to see a movie about her. There's that. I'll never stop rooting for Meghan. She's inspiring in multiple ways. Okay, for sure. Okay, let's pause this. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Won't he do it? Okay, absolutely. There's that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. I'm almost done, and I'm gonna continue recording, and then, but it will be a different video. Okay. Is that making focus to Nexus? I have some tweet regarding that. Maybe 2 or 3 tweets. When Prince Harry fell in love with Meghan and chose her, he chose a well-spoken woman, an intelligent woman, an accomplished woman, a woman with credential, a woman who loves to work, and a woman who will help him get the best out of himself. A woman who will, okay, so she continue here, who will stand by his side no matter what. Harry chose the right woman. and in terms of standing by his side, is that if he didn't protect her when the media, I mean, they're still doing that, but his family as well, standing in the back, doing pretend that they welcome her and all of that. Meanwhile, they were backstabbing her. But if Harry didn't stand tall and firm to protect her, Meghan would have, gone. Okay, so it's like a yang kind of thing. They supplement each other. Harry did his part as a husband to support her, and she's doing her part as a wife to support him. All right, stand by his side no matter what. Harry chose the right woman. He then chose a I see the mumble. I started laughing. I'm sorry. He then chose a mumble, lazy woman with no accomplishment who drags him into a life of laziness. It's not like I'm making excuses for Kate, but that was the model that the UK had. That's what they wanted for William. After seeing how they treated Princess Diana, they wanted Princess Diana to be a mumble, don't talk, just stand by Charles' side or something, even though Charles didn't even love her. But they didn't want her to be productive. So now they train mumble to be that. They thought this is what the institution wanted, which I think this is what they wanted. However, here comes Meghan, who's been working since whatever her teenage years, and Harry supports her and loves her, and she pretty much disrupt the system over there. And now all of a sudden, it's like the institution is like a chicken running without its head. They don't know what to do, because now the population, because this is what they want applaud, they want people to cheer for them. Now people are seeing and comparing the two differences. The others cost billions of dollars to the taxpayers, doing absolutely nothing. And there's Meghan and Harry, who were willing to work for free and showing the productive, you could see what they are doing or helping, unlike the others who's getting so much money. So this is the thing here. Meghan disrupt without even trying. It's just she was being herself, but she disrupt the institution, and how they were running freely, continuously, without any problem. When someone comes to disrupt their vile way, they put them down. They try to do that. There's Princess Diana. Look what they did to Princess Diana, who disrupt their ways, even though she left. But the problem that they had with Princess Diana, she became more popular after she left the institution. So they didn't like that. So we need to keep that in mind. These people, they never stop. They will never stop until something put them down. So the disruption that happened here, they pissed off. They wanted to continue doing their BS without any accountability. And like I was showing you with this nonsense here, where is it? Not that. Where's the video of her? Okay? Doing absolutely nothing. And then there's a man came behind her telling the other guy to stand up. Stand up for what? All right? They doing vile thing, and they want people to applaud for them. All right? Just in case if you miss it. Okay? There it is here. Telling him to get up. Right there. The F. Well, this is what happened. They want to be in that circle group. They want to be in the royal box. So they just respecting you. They deserve that, I guess. But anyway, let's finish with this. Harry came home with gold and not copper. Both he and Meghan are thriving. There was a video that I had. I remember the thumbnails, but YouTube gave me a problem with it. I'll show you the thumbnails. I still have the thumbnails. The gold standard. Meghan is the gold standard. All right, so let's see what she's putting here. Appearance and open up about his journey from duty to purpose. The Duke of Sussex surprised attendees at the Nexus Gold Summit in New York City. That was June 27. That was while I was on vacation. I don't have any videos of that. All right, so there's all these image collage. Okay, some of the okay. This video was supposed to talk about her. I'm probably gonna put it on the next video. Okay, but for the sake of this video itself, let's listen to this. This lady is awesome. A round of applause, please. Okay, the squad were applauding her, but couple days later, it went on reverse, and the squad were upset. And how will I say, upset, but they sort of got the hint that maybe the palace or whoever who wants to switch the narrative probably told her something. Alright, he thought this was a bit Meghan moment, but she handled his ass. When it didn't go his way, he did what a derenger always does, accuse her of working for the Sussexes. I have never heard Meghan mention or talk about climate change. That's how lies get started. Yeah, this is heavy stuff or something. Alright, let's listen to this. It's 3 minutes and 24 seconds. You will be seeing this on the next video, which I'll be putting on Abu Team Sussex. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna play it. Okay, yes, she is. That's that here. Let's go into it so it could be bigger. Pause.
Say a lot of people are saying, you know, why does it matter? This is a recipe, and it's just based on her own homemade jam, but it does send out a message. People think they're buying into the illusion of something crafted by royal hands or formerly royal hands. It's not quite as it seems.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think this is the gotcha moment that the press are hoping for. This is actually industry standard. To meet demand, she obviously has to outsource where it's manufactured. She can't set up a production line in her kitchen. But as I said, this is complete industry standard. If you look at Martha Stewart, she's had a whole career on building homemade products, food products, and also homeware products. They're all manufactured in Pennsylvania while she lives in New York. So I don't see her anytime soon setting up a production line in her New York kitchen to meet demand. And even if you look at the Windsor Strawberry Reserve that's being sold on the Windsor website, that's not made in Windsor. Believe it or not, it's made elsewhere in factories around the UK. So yeah, this isn't the gotcha moment that people are hoping for. It's actually just a smart business move, really. And if she wants to be able to meet demand this time round and not sell out within a half an hour like she did the last time, this is the only way to do it.
Well, you're being very charitable there, but what about the carbon footprint? Here's a couple that fly to the Google climate change conference, stand there barefoot, having flown on a private jet, and they're flying jam 2,000 miles across.
How did they know they're flying private jet? Harry always said, okay, this is something I remember. He said when he is traveling by himself, okay, without his family, he used commercial. But with his family, that's private, because you could see the danger of it. Plus, it's more of them flying on a private jet. You could understand that. But many times, what is it? I think sometimes earlier this year, there's this American airline, how do they call them? Flight attendant, not steward, flight attendant. Okay, who posted something on TikTok, I think, about Meghan, who was flying on American airline. That alone tells you, okay, she wasn't traveling on private jet. Okay, but let's continue.
Across America, you're not telling me they could make that jam a little bit nearer to their Hollywood estate?
Oh, God.
Well, the carbon footprint is actually every single business out there. If you look at all the businesses, large companies, all the ones that we know today, they all use manufacturing plants that aren't in the location where the product was created. So it's just industry standard. It happens. If we're looking at Meghan Markle with this fine tooth comb, that means we have to open it up and look at absolutely every single massive business in the world and ask, why are you producing it so far away from home? Shouldn't this be produced in your kitchen? What about the carbon footprint? Do you know, it can't be one rule for Meghan and then other rule for other global businesses.
Exactly.
Well, I think perhaps it can, because if you're sanctimonious about people's everyday carbon consumption, about we should all cut down on holidays, we should all be lean, green and clean, and then you're flying jam jars 2,000 miles, I think those with glass houses or glass jam jars shouldn't throw stones.
So is he saying all the people who's gonna be buying the jam or whatever she's making are all gonna living in California? They're not across the country or even across the world? Is this guy for real? So the jam must be close to Meghan's house. That way she could sell it there. I mean, what the F? There's people across the country. People are buying from across the country. So how do you get this to these people? You use your buggies or your horse? What the hell? Oh my God.
Well, are you going to look into the carbon footprint of the Windsor Strawberry Reserve
Bang.
that is made elsewhere in the UK? We're flying that around the world. Lots of Americans buy that. More Americans buy that than you people in the UK. So are we going to ask the Windsors what's going on there? Are they offsetting their carbon footprint?
Bingo.
Do you work for Ellen? Do you work for Meghan Markle?
No, I don't. But what I am is a journalist, and I'm fair. And I like unbiased reporting, so that's what I base my reporting on. And I think that actually all the reporting on Meghan Markle has been very biased.
Bango. That's it. That is it. This is why the squad were talking about her. But where she took, her Michael Jackson moonwalk, I can't find the tweet where I guess they sort of talked to her and said, "You're not supposed to defend Meghan," or something like that. Okay, the expression on his face, there's the laugh here, that's an ad. He stretched that rubber band of BS and got popped in the face. That is true. This woman is amazing. I don't know who she is, but she made mincemeat at that idiot broadcaster. Thumbs up. The number of times I've told I've used to work for Sussexes, when I stand up for them and quote a few facts is crazy. It's all the derangers can do when faced with evidence. Whoever came up with the idea of using climate change as an argument for Meghan being hypocrite needs to be fired. Maybe it sounds good in their head, but it fell extremely flat. Okay, at least a professional journalist who not only can report fairly but chopped this GB newsman to pieces, chewed him up and spat him out. So this is extra. I know Meghan's house is big, but this is what she's supposed to have in her kitchen. A full jam factory. My God, the Rangers and the UK media are effing dumb. I will not put that on all of the people in the UK. It's like this guy who was interviewing the woman. They're making it seem like they're so freaking dumb. There's this image here, a factory. There's that and that. It's like you wanted her to be doing this in her kitchen. Alright, so let's leave that alone. I have 2 more tweets that I want to put on this video, and then I'm gonna continue recording for Happy Team Sussex channel. Alright, so this is a LOL. So y'all think we're getting any more Meghan Sussex IG updates over the weekend? Alright, so that was last week, July 5th. Okay, I'm ready. Since when we get a 4th of July weekend edit on Sunday. There's that. I mean, the squad always have to do their thing. Okay, it's crack at this point. Listen, I need my fix, okay? Laughing my ass off, spoiled us yesterday. She really did, and now I'm sat here wondering what to do with my life. There's the laugh here. We're all thinking it. They were talking about, they're making reference to Meghan IG post because she was posting, and they want more content. Pretty much that's what this is saying here. Next one, and this is my last one for this video. Pause that. They are using reverse psychology on y'all. There's the laugh here, because the only people who hold that family's feet to the fire are the Sussex squad. Then that family's big house recently leaked that the one who sits on the throne isn't happy because Harry's supporters think he's a bad father. if they aren't going to make you change your opinion, they're gonna try to get you quiet, because if the squad doesn't question shit, that's their end goal. We can still talk about them without mentioning their names. There's a lot of names you can use and won't help them tick the algorithm. Until they leave our girl alone, there won't be any silence here. Okay, so they're making reference, this tweet is making reference to the left behinders on Salty Island, making let us know their tactic. All right, let's see here. I think the pressure is getting to them because they all look like shit, so we will keep going. No taking the foot off the gas. All right, this squaddy been on the grind all day. What did I miss? Okay, all right, well sis, welcome back from the grind. May the good Lord helps the work of your hands. It's a long story. Okay, I wish I know more. Charles was a cool husband. He is a cool father, father-in-law, and grandfather. But to say that, do people need to bring the cancer liar in our timeline? Why compare her to our Meg? Okay, Sussex Squad have exposed their BS narratives. It's so much that the PR isn't working. They would love to get back on control of it. Yeah, they're trying to change the narrative, but the squad always shut it down. Like, for instance, all the TikTok videos that I'm putting about this guy who's shutting down the Derangers TikTok videos. So this is the thing. They can't get their narrative going. All right, I'll continue discussing Willie, Kate, Chuck, and consort. They had done some low down things to my favorite, Meghan Sussex and Prince Harry. I don't like the forgettable four because of that. I was saying the same thing too. Stop talking about them, but I was thinking if we do stop talking about them, that means things are going to go unchecked. This is what's good with the squad. So many of us have different capabilities. Some of us are more stronger, just, you know, defending Meghan. You could still do that, but there's some squaddies who go to Salty Island and call their ass out. That's the ones they're afraid of. All right, I prefer rightful names of the ho, co-ho, will not and cannot to name top 2 houses. Also revisit their lies and shenanigans so that they won't have any time to rewrite history. Like this guy, the what's his name? Is him. Okay, calling them out. The videos that I did yesterday, a lot of the tweets that I did were things that happened in the past that he's bringing up to sort of put some new squaddies up to date. All right, good point, 100. Okay, after this, that's it. I will never shut up in my defense, support, and admiration of the Sussex. Why sit mutedly on the sideline? It's only because of those vigilant, dedicated, talented, tireless, wonderful squaddies that others are encouraged to speak out. Okay, got my foot up on the gas, but someday gotta do it. All right, so there's more comment. Let's do a prayer. Prayer for I don't know. I'm thinking the word control. I don't know. Let's put control. Let's look for image. Whatever's here. Image, but whatever's. Come on. Whatever's here. Okay. Hopefully I could see it. Prayer for giving up control to God. Lord, today I'm giving up control. I can do this with confidence because I know that you, God, are in control. I give you my burdens and worries. I trust that you will give me your strength, Lord. I ask that you fill me with your spirit, as giving up control is very difficult for me. Guide me to know how to give up control. I rejoice in you as I remember who you are. You are a God who can be trusted with my life. For in scripture, I see that you are good God. The stories recount your power and just judgment, so I trust you with my life. Lord, you deserve all the praise and glory. If I was in control, I know that I will try and fail over and over again, just as Israelites did. But you, God, accepted me as I fell sinner. With the rest of the grace of prayer. All right, so that's that. Let's leave it as that. So please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. So this is where I'll be putting this video. Oh, I did a video about the Nexus. Okay, when did I do that? I don't remember. Let's see here. Content. That was before I left. What date do I have here? The 28th, June 28th. That was before when I left. Okay. This is where I was talking about. There's Harry who was going on stage. You see the side picture here. He is letting the lady go first. That's what I was making reference to regarding egg. But anyway, so this is it. I'm gonna continue recording. It will be for Team Sussex. The first tweet will be about this. Let's see here. I see LOL. Maybe it should have been on here. Okay, so I'll start with this. That's what this video was supposed to be about, her content, and I keep on adding to the list, and then you see what I've shared with you. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Tune in to Team Sussex to know more about that.